Hey YouTube, GrandLamb here. This is just gonna be a pretty either quick or long video depending on how long I edit it. This is basically just talking about hand traps and how to play around them as yummy. I'm not gonna do a combo video because I feel like everyone's just done that to death already. So I think this is just the next best thing possible for my friends to help learn the deck. Alright, so we have the General Kagari combo. You're gonna drones first, obviously. Play this. Turn this into Kagari add back drones. Now it's important here that if you're playing around Imperm Veiler, they're probably going to save it for Cupsy, since you don't have a Yummy in your name. Most of the time you can tell if the opponent has a Yummy monster if they don't summon it here. Otherwise, what you're supposed to do if you're trying to play around Veiler Imperm is summon the Yummy from your hand. Turn these two into the Cupsy. And that way if they Veiler Imperm this, you could just tag out. And make sure that if you do tag out, you chain this so that you can summon Snatchy and not get hand trapped on it also. So the Impermanent Veiler is just dead. They have to wait till their turn to actually use it. And you still get the two searches off of the Cupsy way, which is quite good. Alright guys, so it should be noted Obedient School is obviously just going to play around everything, excluding Ash, because if they have Ash, they'll obviously Ash this. What this card does, basically you just summon 3 guys from deck, if you don't know. 3 names, so you basically get your entire engine out the deck. You can just basically choose a hand trap and just play around it, because you summon 3 guys from deck, so anything is possible. If you care about Nibiru, for instance, what you should always be doing here is just placing a Croaky. That way minion doesn't get hit by hand traps or SP to banish it so that you can't get it back, but also so that if they nib after you summon whatever next, then you get a body and can still keep playing. So this specifically is really good here because even if they were to interact with this card like Ash it or something like that, you always can just summon back from the graveyard. So no matter what, you're always getting something if they try to interact. It beats Ogre, Veiler, Imperm, Nibiru, all of that. It's insane card that probably should get hit. I guess since I'm talking about Obedient School, I should also probably go over side cards for the deck. So Phantasmi and Retaliating Sea are 2 big ones that people see play. Phantasmi is a lot more real than Retaliating because Retaliating Sea can only hit 2 cards in your deck. It cannot hit Minion, which is something I've seen online so far, which I disagree with. So they're both really easy to out mostly, assuming you do it on Obedient School. What you do is you Obedient School. Summon 3, this is where they would drop Retaliating Sea if they have it. It'll drop Phantasmi when you do the Snatchy, but you're at this point. What you would do here is go Snatchy effect. They'll drop the Phantasmi, of course. And you play yourself Crookie like usual. You play around Nib this way also. What you would do here now is just get rid of these to summon a Synchro. And then all you would do is just chain block the Crookie to, well, sorry, you can also just do this. To pop the Retaliating Sea, you can make a Crookie chain link 2 to pop the Retaliating Sea. They can't Ogre because they're under macro. But if you're versus Phantasmi, make sure that you do a Crookie 1 so they can't negate it with Phantasmi. That's a big one. That'll leave your Cupsy Yummy way open though to get hit by negation. But otherwise, yeah, this right here, you'll still get the search. You can still full combo afterwards, but they won't have that. And they lose a card. And you want to make sure that you get rid of either of these when they play it, because you will lose the game if they stick on the board. Okay, now we're getting to the more common hand traps in the format. So we're going to start with Obedient School versus Fuwa. What people usually do, I see online, is they just go summon the 3, of course. And then go Snatchy, place Minion, summon back Cupsy, pass. I disagree with that for a lot of reasons. I think that if you do that, you will literally just lose the Imperm off the top of the deck. You would just die the next turn. I think giving them 3 draws is probably for the best here. So what I would do, if DB would stop lagging, that's crazy. Let's do this, of course, place with Snatchy. I'm going to place the Crookie. Turn these into a Cupsy Yummy way, so just in case he interacts with this, I still get the search. So with this, he gets 3 draws. But I also have a Cupsy now. So I can resolve, grab this, get this, and now I have Surprise. So now I also have the Link 1 plus Cup C, and I can just tag out if I want to on his turn. If you would have went the other way and they had Imperm, Baylor, literally anything for it, I would just lose the game because I can't play past both hand traps together. Just give them the 3 draws for Fua. Alright, so we're in the same situation here. It's Fua again, but this time I only have a normal summon, no obedient schools. So what you're going to do is you're going to drop Fua on the normal summon, obviously. You're going to go with this. This time you have to place it because you don't have a way to play without it. And you're going to summon this back. This all resolved so far. This is 1 draw so far. You're going to just go for the second one here. Grab this because this card is infinitely more threatening than just Snatchy Pass for reasons I mentioned before of Imperm. This will just grab you the Cup C and the Lollipopo. Pitching the Lollipopo, and then now you have Cup C, and then if they have Imperm or whatever, they'll stop this, but you can tag this out to play the game next turn, which is really cool. Get rid of this, and then you just play next turn. But you gave them 2 draws for it. Not really much you can do about that. If you just go on 1, if they have the Imperm plus it, you'll just lose, so it's just better to play more conservatively. Then finally, we have the aforementioned drones board plus engage, or drones to Fua, sorry. You just go this. This is the worst starter, obviously, because you lose everything this way, but if you have no names, you gotta do what you gotta do. So you go to this point, do it again. So right now you're at 1 draw. You turn these into a Cup C, grab the 2 from deck. So you can just dump this one, grab this. And right now we're stuck here. I would turn this into a Snatchy. This is their 3rd draw. And now you have Cup C with it to grab Surprise. Unfortunately, if they hand trap you on your opponent's turn, like Imperm, whatever, you're kind of just stuck. You got a yummy way to like try to play because they just drew 3 cards off Fua. So there are what, 7, 8 cards on their turn. It's just too much, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. If you don't make the Snatchy, then you're not gonna be able to have a play on their turn either. So another one that's a side deck card that's gaining popularity is Contact C. Unfortunately, you cannot play around Contact C with just your normal summon. You actually need to have specifically Cup C to do it, or Obedient School. They're more likely to do it on the Obedient School, but Cup C does play through it somewhat. You just have to just play into every hand trap known to man, but it sucks, happens. But what you can do, I'll just start off with the Cup C, is you go normal Cup C, they Contact C you, you're obviously just going to grab the Surprise, link both off into Cross Sheep. So the biggest thing is, yes, you do have to play a Link 2 just to get rid of this card. Cross Sheep is like the most common one because it works on their Obedient School, but I've seen Donner. Either works as long as it points down, it's whatever. I mean, Obedient School or Cross Sheep's probably gonna just see the most play because it's the only Beast Link 2 that points down like that. So what you're gonna do here is Surprise, summon back the Cup C, summon this into a Snatchy. Snatchy plays Mignon, and then Mignon is gonna summon back the Cup C. At this point, this is just full combo. You don't really have to do anything. Once you get the other 2 cards back, you can chain block it too, which is kind of cool because it is a synchro monster. But once you get the 2 cards back, you're probably gonna have to keep both bodies so that you can make Onari, and then Onari will just set back the Surprise, and that way they just went -1. But that's only if you start Cup C. Okay, and obviously with Obedient School, you're just gonna summon 3. They will Contact C you. And then this is the worst time for them to do it, because if you play Cross Sheep, then you just have everything in existence, because, yeah, you just get the body. Turn this and that. The only thing is, you play harder in the nib this way, but you can't play around everything that way. If they have nib plus Contact C, then you just had it. And this one, you could specifically actually go for the Akroki if you wanted to. And then this is still just full combo, and it's protected by Ash because of Cross Sheep. So the moral story is, if you're expecting Contact C, play Cross Sheep. It's the most important card known to man for it, this card specifically. Okay, that's all the hand traps for this video. You're welcome, Dennis. And yeah, that's it.